To you live from the Feather Market Centre here in Port Elizabeth, where 200 delegates, marine scientists, have descended into the city to discuss ways in combating pollution within our oceans. We do know that scientists have reported that by the year 2025, most of the ocean will be full of plastics. We know that our animals are suffering, wildlife is depleting, several animals are also going to extinct. There are talks here about the polar bears, there are talks here about several animals such as the dolphins, fishes. But with me right now we have a lady that knows all about this, and her name is Dr. Sylvia Earle. She is the former chief scientist at NOAA and Mission Blue founder and president. She has been called the hero of the planet, and indeed she is. Thank you for joining us today. Dr. Earle, tell us, in terms of the hotspots, you spoke about hotspots being very important, yes, that they're going to help in, rebuilding our oceans economy. Can you just talk us more about those hope spots?
Hope spots are areas that are nominated by individuals, communities, for reasons that really emphasize the special nature of areas in the ocean, like national parks. These are blue parks in the making. Because they're called hope spots doesn't mean that they are protected, but it is a process developed between Mission Blue and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, and with partners around the world, including here in South Africa with the Sustainable Seas Trust, to get the local communities to identify places that they know really matter for reasons equivalent to why areas on the land that have been designated for protection, why they matter.
Now, it's quite interesting that you speak about the land, but in terms of pollution, how much are we contributing to the global pollution of the world's oceans?
Well, all people everywhere have an impact on the world around them. Actually, all creatures do. Every bird, every dragonfly, we all make a place for ourselves. But in the last century, especially the last few decades, it's partly the numbers of people, but it's also the way we live. We haven't, in the past, been had such an impact on the amount of waste that we generate. And part of this has come about with the development of throwaway packaging, the plastics that serve us well in so many ways. But it's not the fault of the plastic, but it's the convenience that people have in using something once. A cup, a plastic spoon, a plastic bag. Use it once and then throw it away, thinking that somehow there is an way. Now, it's obvious. We have plenty of evidence here in Africa, everywhere in the world, that this convenience, this idea that somehow that we can throw something into the garbage, into the ocean, just toss it away, it comes back to haunt us. Everything is still here that has ever been produced as a plastic material. It's one of the great elements about plastic is that it does last a very long time. Lightweight, relatively speaking, and relatively inexpensive compared to other packaging materials, and very durable. So it really is a problem of our own making, and it's a new problem generated just in recent times with the advent of plastic packaging.
Now, Doctor, you know what? It is really a life cycle. We, throw our plastics away, it ends up in our oceans. But in terms of us as the humans, and in terms of the life cycle of us eating fish eating plastics, how are we doing in terms of, putting that pollution in the water? How are we trying to combat or find innovative means and ways to stop polluting our oceans? I mean, you've, all the way from San Francisco, you told us that you've ventured across the country, you've gone through different barrier reefs, you were in Australia, you've literally seen them also disappearing. Where does that put us in this entire cycle as human beings? What do we need to do to, play our part?
We have the power of knowing, and that leads to caring. You can't care if you don't know. When we started to use plastics to make the extravagantly effective fishing gear that now exists, long lines that literally extend around the world. We have thousands of miles of long lines and nets and other kinds of gear that, again, they're made of these relatively inexpensive, lightweight, and very durable materials. They're not only able now to catch on a scale that is wildlife from the sea, on a scale that is unprecedented, but if the nets are lost, or if they're tossed, as many of them are when they get tears and rips and whatever, they are left in the ocean, they're still out there. They're fishing and killing. They're not coming to market. They're just killing things. And much of the plastic debris is old, lost, or tossed fishing gear. So it's littering the beaches. It continues to kill animals on the order of 300,000 marine mammals, many seabirds, turtles, and other creatures get tangled in this lost and tossed fishing gear. But it's also the other throwaway plastics that are causing problems by being ingested by whales, turtles, and fish. And yes, they do come back to haunt us not only when we eat the creatures that have consumed the small bits of plastic that are accumulating, but they tend to be like magnets for toxins in the ocean that enhances the problems that they cause. But the good news is knowing. The good news is now we can see it. 50 years ago, even today, many people are not aware of the consequences that what they put in the trash winds up in the ocean. People don't know why that matters either. But now the knowledge is there and is being more widely communicated that the ocean, a healthy, clean ocean, is vital to everyone, everywhere. If you've never seen the ocean or touched the ocean literally touches you with every breath you take, every drop of water you drink. Most of the oxygen is generated by the small phytoplankton and other photosynthetic creatures in the ocean that generate oxygen and take up carbon and manufacture food. We can see it on land with the plants that generate oxygen and take up carbon, produce food. But in the ocean, it's invisible. Most people are not aware of it. So it's communicating what we now understand about why the ocean matters to you everywhere. And what you do, what you throw away that winds up in the ocean also matters back to you.
Thank you very much. That was Dr. Sylvia Earle. She is a former chief scientist at NOAA and Mission Blue founder and president, and she was talking about the importance of knowing, and knowledge is truly power. The conference will be running up until the 13th here in Port Elizabeth. Several delegates have descended, like I told you, into the bay to talk about informative ways to combating pollution in our oceans. It's back to you in studio.